surmise they are here to honor this day?
Quite right. We must observe good form. They are, after all, our guests.
Well, I suppose... Thank you. Yeah, I suppose they are fellow Americans. I suppose introductions would be in order.
John Adams of Massachusetts, lawyer at your disposal.
Thomas Jefferson of Virginia, planter. I'm charmed, to be sure.
And your most obedient and faithful servant, Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania, printer. Oh, pray, overwhelm me with your adulation. You stop.
Dr. Franklin, a printer you are, but much more. Creator of the first library, inventor of bifocal glasses, the lightning rod, the Franklin stove, the odometer, and of course, discoverer of electricity.
Oh, stuff and nonsense. You forgot about the extended chair and the extended arm.
Ah, yes, and lest we forget your contributions as a statesman and your brilliance as mathematician, philosopher, inventor, and linguist. 'Tis Mr. Jefferson that set the country on its course.
Nay, my friend, and you may be credited with being the main architect of that great and grand show. You were, after all, our second president.
Aye, and you were our third president.
I was president too.
And I was vice president under you.
How could I forget?
I was president too.
The vice presidency. I first held that office under our first president, General Washington.
Yeah, I was no stranger to the presidency.
Ah, yes. As I said about the vice presidency, my country has bestowed upon me the most insignificant office created by the minds of man.
Well, I was president too. I was president of the first non-denominational college, later on to be called the University of Pennsylvania, as well as I was president of the state of Pennsylvania. That's what we called our governors and president. Well, I was.
And very fine one, I'm sure.
Carson Baller. Vanity, thou art an empty vessel. Well, goodly folks, we are your founding fathers. You like what we found?
I must admit, I'm most startled to see this nation still in existence after all these years. I did, but figured 20 years at most, and then another revolution. A country needs another revolution every 20 to 30 years. It was as natural to man as storms are to nature.
Founding fathers, indeed. More like confounding brothers. I mean, really, good sirs, we seem to be just as confused as these good people are as to the true causes of our great revolution.
Confused? Well, what say you, good citizens? What were the causes of this revolution?
Aye, goodly lady over here. What sayest thou? What was the cause of this revolution, eh? She's dumbstruck.
Anyone over here?
What did you say, madam?
What say you? Yes, madam, what sayest thou?
Taxation without
Taxation without representation.
She read the answer at the end of the book. That's what other reason?
What about you, sir?
Dumbstruck.
Oh, he has no idea.
Well, what about you, sir? What about this
What are
gentleman
they
here?
teaching
What were
us?
the causes of our revolution?
You know one, tell me, sir. This gentleman knows one, he said.
Yes.
Equality to all men.
Equality of all men.
Yes.
You left the women out of that one. Well, as an old Virginia trapper said, we'd be a-blowing on the fur. Let's get to the high. Taxation without representation. Why, they be taxing sugar, molasses, ink, paper, without a by your leave to any of us. How would you account to that, sir?
And how would you feel, sir, if you were forced us house soldiers and sailors in your house. Soldiers and sailors.
And Hessians, sir. Hessians. You never know where they came. And good lady, how would you feel if your husband be carted away with no charges given and shipped off to England?
Oh.
Granted, it would depend on how happily you were married. But it did that.
Nay, imagine any of ye wanting to have a meeting to address your grievances, and your right to assembly be dissolved by the whim of a local magistrate or the fancy of a king.
All good reasons, gentlemen, all good reasons indeed. But you forget one that is always obscure. Distance. The charm and relative safety of distance. Let's not forget, our forefathers, as well as ourselves, were not blind to the vastness and richness of this grand land that lay before us. Ample opportunities to seek one's life's ambitions or a pursuit of happiness. Yes, place and time. Whether you be a planter, Mr. Jefferson, or a tradesman of paper and ink as myself, or, may I say, a merchant of the law, Mr. Adams. Yes, the mother country was spent out by the French-Indian War. Spent out indeed. Not to mention the so-called truly First World War, the 7-Year War, with Russia, Spain, and France against the mother country. Oh, she was well spent out. As well as the other grand nations, why, they could do no real mischief to such as we, such as us upstart crows, that dared to strike out for independence and lay claim to this land.
Aye, but a third of the population was against this great revolutionary war, Doctor.
Aye, but a third was for it, sir.
And a third just wanted to be left alone. There were many a time I could commiserate with them. How I wanted to be left alone with her. She would warm me in the winter months, temper my fever in the summer. I would long for her when away, and gladden my heart upon my return, to be in her warm and loving embrace. My Monticello. Not just a way of life and being, but a way of, not just a home of my own creation, but a way of life and being. John, I had no idea you could be so moved.
It's not bad. I've got my hand caught in Franklin's blasted extended chair.
Oh, bravely, sir. Now I do need to beg your pardon. I often got my hand caught in that chair. Sometime, most time of day.
How fare you, old friend?
No sensation. Remember the pain, as it were.
I remember pain. Odds fish. This eternity begs further inspection. Most curious indeed. How sweet are the memories, if not for the occasional bitter recollections? No pain, no gain, eh, Mr. Adams?
Dr. Franklin, I'm glad you're on our side. But getting back to the causes of which we are here, you certainly had your share of pain and frustration with that cherished document.
Pain? Nah. Frustration? Yep. Why was forced upon me to put to paper to list our grievances, while others...
Oh, well. Now, they were afeard of my putting in too many jests and whimsical parables in the thing.
As I said, there were 3 reasons why you should write it. Reason number 1, you are a Virginian, and it should be a Virginian that should be at the head of this. Reason number 2, I am obnoxious, suspected, and unpopular. You, sir, certainly are not. And reason number 3, you can write 10 times better than I can.
And here I was in a boarding house in Philadelphia to draw from all my cherished books the ancient knowledge of those ancient philosophers and men of wisdom that I admired.